Nothing quite sparks our imagination like a castle straight from a fairy tale. Drawbridges, moats, lush gardens, spiral staircases. Castles serve as architectural time machines that allow us to catch a glimpse of what it was like to live like royalty. From Scotland all the way to Japan, let's take a deep dive into some of the most monumental and extravagant castles to exist. Beginning with the Chateau de Chambord. Initially constructed for Francis I as a hunting lodge, it was later transformed into a magnificent palace. Many consider Chateau de Chambord to be the most opulent property in all of France. Construction started back in 1519 and was finished several years later in 1547. In the 1700s, the French royals amassed a notorious amount of riches. As a result, famished French citizens overthrew the royal family, sparking the French Revolution. Numerous Chateau Chambord's items were later either sold or stolen. It's quite a challenge to single out Chateau de Chambord's most eye-catching feature, but guests frequently comment on the sensational twin stone spiral staircases connecting the first and second floors. A grand 13,000-acre park and game reserve with native red deer and countless other animals surround the castle. Today, Chateau de Chambord attracts over 700,000 tourists annually, making it an unquestionably well-loved tourist spot. Up next is the Versailles Palace. The Versailles Palace was just a little hunting lodge with a moat up until 1661. It later served as the French imperial capital and is now among the most lavish buildings ever built. Silver, gold, and elaborate chandeliers cover the fabled Hall of Mirrors. Reportedly, the palace may have cost as much as $300 billion. It's crammed with a ton of salons, each with a Greek god motif. For instance, the formal bedroom of the king, where he was waiting to be dressed and fed with the finest meals, was located in the Salon of Mercury. The majority of these salons have ornately painted ceilings and gold leaf decor. The grounds are covered in fountains, canals, groves of trees, and the stunning geometric flower beds. Versailles receives about 8 million guests each year, surpassing even the Eiffel Tower in terms of tourist traffic. Third on the list is Stirling Castle. The Stirling Castle was built atop the town of Stirling in Scotland, given its name. In the past, the stronghold was built high enough so that its occupants could keep an eye out for intruders. Several Scottish kings and queens lived at the castle throughout the 15th and 16th centuries. Nowadays, it has become a popular tourist attraction. In the year 1490, the first Stirling Castle structures were constructed. King James IV, the Fifth, and the Sixth utilized these buildings as the main royal center. The architecture of the structures showcases a mix of French, German, and English influences. The kings must have had excellent taste because this military fortress is still well known for its stunning architecture more than 500 years later. The castle has an elaborate fireplace, refurbished bedrooms, and a tapestry gallery, thanks to a £12 million renovation project. Displayed are the original cannons aimed over a stunning vista of the Scottish countryside. Stirling Castle now serves as a performance venue as well. In their concert films, musicians like Bob Dylan and Rod Stewart have used the castle as a backdrop. At number 4, we have the TOPKAPI Palace in Turkey. In the 15th and 16th centuries, this grand Turkish castle was home to the Ottoman sultans. But even more than 400 years later, it still holds up with being suitable for a king. It was named after a World Heritage Site by UNESCO in 1985 and is now a beautiful museum. A display of intricately made Ottoman armor and weapons is now housed in the former imperial treasury. The exquisite Ottoman artwork from throughout the centuries is displayed in a portrait exhibition. It is undoubtedly a must-see destination if you ever travel to Turkey. The royals had plenty of space to relax and amuse themselves at Topkapi, which entails 4 courtyards, an elaborate gate, and a harem. Additionally, a lavish bath complex for pampering and relaxation is a must-have for any Turkish palace. It also comes with a bird sanctuary and numerous majestic flower beds. Fifth on the list is ELTZ Castle. ELTZ Castle rises steeply out of the German forest and was first built in the year 1137. The Holy Roman Empire resided in this splendid Romanesque castle. The local archbishop's rule was contested by this royal family, and the diocese launched a 2-year siege. In spite of the fact that this fortress has seen numerous battles, it still retains its allure and grandeur, almost 1,000 years later. ELTZ is now a museum, just like most contemporary castles, adding to the collection of popular destinations for tourists. It features treasure made of gold, silver, and porcelain, as well as an arsenal of weapons and armor, which is a testament to how incredibly wealthy the ELTZ family actually was. Over the years, the dynasty was in possession of several different properties, but it lost the majority of its riches in the 1800s. This led many of the family members to migrate to the United States in the 1700s, and some of them even fought in the war. Number 6 is Edinburgh Castle. This ancient fortress is a staple of present-day Edinburgh, Scotland. It was the scene of countless wars, notably the Jacobite Rising of 1745 and the Scottish independence in the 1400s. The castle witnessed about 26 sieges throughout the course of its 1,100-year history, making it the most attacked fortress on Earth and the most sieged stronghold in the United Kingdom. The former king's crown scepter and sword, as well as elaborately painted ceilings from the 1600s, are featured in the royal palace. And not only that, the 2 million annual visitors can take in historical reenactments of previous battles, as well as customs and songs that are unique to Scotland. A truly remarkable experience one shouldn't miss when traveling there. Castle number 7 is the MALBORK Castle. German Teutonic knights from the 13th century built MALBORK Castle, however, in order to help pay for the expenses of the 13-Year War. Bohemian mercenaries surrendered it to King Casimir IV of Poland in 1457. Prior to the castle being recaptured by the Germans in 1772, it was used as a home for the Polish monarchs. The palace is a Polish historical landmark that will continue to be preserved for years to come. Many royals have traveled by boat and have taken mesmerizing river cruises in the mild Polish summer throughout history. The castle is situated on the northwest bank of the river Nogat. Additionally, Poland is well known for its amber, and the MALBORK Castle comes with a wing exclusively for an amber exhibit, fittingly. Number 8 on the list is Himeji Castle in Japan. Himeji Castle is regarded by many as the best illustration of a traditional Japanese castle building. The grounds of Himeji Castle are remarkably peaceful, despite the fact that they were assembled for battle. The 533-hectare castle is truly massive. Being constructed as a fortress in the year 1300, it is considered to be a national treasure by Japan. It's one of just 5 buildings in the country to receive this honor. Several international and Japanese movies like Akira Kurosawa's Kagemusha and the James Bond film You Only Live Twice have prominently featured this prestigious castle. In 2015, the palace welcomed nearly 2 million people per year, so don't forget to add this to your itinerary if you plan on seeing the sights of Japan. Second to last is the Neuschwanstein Castle. Bavaria is home to the German castle Neuschwanstein. If this grandiose building looks familiar, it's likely because Walt Disney used it as the inspiration for the castle from Sleeping Beauty at Disneyland. It's undoubtedly one of the most recognizable structures on Earth and was even a nominee for the new 7 Wonders of the World. According to close estimates, the castle would have cost $950 million today. Due to its location, the castle was intended to dazzle visitors from all over the world. It can be seen clearly in every direction for many, many miles away. During construction between 1880 and 1881, contractors used 1,550 tons of sandstone, 400,000 bricks, 465 tons of Salzburg marble, and 2,680 cubic yards of wood for scaffolding. After some rather laborious work, obviously, it was finally completed in 1886. Now the castle is accessible to guests where they can wander through its infinite hallways and courtyards. And finally, England's Windsor Castle. William the Conqueror invested his accumulated wealth in Windsor Castle in the 11th century. Windsor Castle, in contrast to many of the other castles on this list, still serves as a royal residence. According to reports, weekend trips to Windsor were apparently enjoyable for the late Queen Elizabeth II. The British royal family hosts foreign heads of state on a regular basis, so they can show off the impressive castle along with its spectacular grounds. A beautiful rustic woodland surrounds the palace and is the oldest broad-leaved woodland in all of Europe. This space was initially intended for hunting purposes, but nowadays it's used for farming, recreation, and quiet afternoon strolls. A 2017 report stated that Windsor Castle is worth around $236 million. To this day, the English palace continues to be the world's oldest and biggest inhabited castle. So, Which of these enchanting castles would you like to visit on your next vacation? Comment down below. And if there's any additional castles that you feel we left out on this list, let us know as well. Like and subscribe if you haven't already for more episodes like this one. You would not want to miss what's coming your way. Thanks for watching.